Hello everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you're looking after yourselves. Have you ever been given the wrong advice? Have you been told to expect one thing and then experienced the complete opposite? Well, we're here to address this. Each episode we're going to bring on an amazing guest speaker from Brunel. This can be a current student or they could be an alumni. And we're going to be discussing some of the assumptions that we've had or things that we were told to expect while at university and how this was different from what we went through. But don't worry, we're not going to end it there. We're not going to leave you with despair and worries. We're going to offer some personal tips and advice on how you can learn from your mistakes and experiences. So, to kick things off, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. You might even remember our guest speaker from season 1. Pick up the mic. It feels like ages ago, but it was less than a year. Hi Layla. How you doing? I'm very good.
Happy to be here again.
Thank you for coming back.
Seen you guys since the first episode, right?
But
good to be back.
Honestly, no, it's great to have you back. Like you said, it's been a very long time, but I'm glad to have you here. Glad to have you for our new series, So No One Told You, or UK Unis, So No One Told You. So I guess we should start things off. Let's go a bit off topic for a bit. What's something that no one told you about university, Layla? I know we've got a topic today, but what's one thing that you can say that, you went to university and you weren't told to expect this?
Many things, to be fair. Let's say the first year of uni, culture shock. I'm not used to the culture here, especially the party culture, the drinking culture. I was in shock. I was like, wait, what is going on? Also, obviously, they told me adult life is difficult. My mom warned me that living by yourself at the age of 17 in first year is going to be difficult and no one is going to help you. I have my aunt in the country, but obviously living on campus, you're independent or whatever. I didn't think it was going to be infuriatingly hard. I remember first year, literally in the dorm room crying because I don't know what to do and the time difference. And I'm like, I want to give up, but I know I couldn't. Yeah. And on top of that, lectures 2 hours long. I don't have an attention span for 2 hours. Friends was a whole other situation. New country, new things that I'm exposed to that I'm not exposed to back home. Yeah, that's basically in general.
No, thank you for that. And I think it's kind of like what you said, that especially moving to a new country, there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about, that specifically with today's episodes being titled no one told you what to expect when you're moving away from home. But yeah, we're all going to be talking about some other things that you mentioned, like friends and future episodes as well. Let's go for the first section. So we're going to be talking about some of the assumptions that as a home student, I can't really say that this is really, relevant to me, but to knowing friends and family who maybe moved to another country to do university, I'm just taking their tips and giving it to you guys. Some of the assumptions or some of the things that you're told to expect. And Layla, you sort of mentioned a good one to start with, making loads of friends, or being told, oh, it's so easy to make friends. Was that something that you were told?
To be fair, it really depends on who you are as a person. If you can make friends and you as a personality, do you have social anxiety? Can you even cope being in large places? To be fair, I'm a very social person. I've been told, I'm happy to make friends and whatever. So making friends for me is easy. For example, the friends I met through uni, they have social anxiety. They can't be around huge groups of people. It's hard for them to open up, especially if they're international students. And if they came from, let's say, a conservative community, and they're open to, the drinking culture, the party culture, seeing weed in front of their eyes. Or disclaimer. Yeah. It's everything is new to them. So some of them might be reserved and just be on their own or just chill with other international students. But for me, making friends wasn't a problem. But obviously, drama came out of everywhere. So I came from a very diverse home. town. It's Abu Dhabi, like close to Dubai, if no one knows. Yeah, I have Arab friends, whatever. Like, I have no problem communicating with people. It's just like the friendly culture, how to be friends in an Arab country, in a Muslim country, compared to here. Like the little things are different, right? And I remember I used to have fights that in first year, you're not appreciating us, da 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 da. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't appreciate my friends this much back home, so I didn't mean anything, right? And it's difficult. I'm not going to lie. Like in the beginning, you're gonna make loads of friends. Like it's first year, you're gonna make friends with whoever because it's first year. Then obviously you're gonna see the pattern of your friends narrowing down because you're maturing and you're realizing your true inner self. This person is fake. This person, I'm gonna see them as, like, God knows, a bridesmaid in my wedding, right? Then you never know. By final year, you might have 1, 2, or 3 friends max to graduate, like you trust your life with. And yeah, that's like experiences, like really shows who your true friends are. And especially when you're maturing in these 3 years, you're literally gonna cut down so many friends, even if they didn't do anything wrong. It's just like their personality is not for you. You'd be like, sorry, I don't want you to be in my life. Cut off. Like it's, at the end of the day, you're your own best friend. No one else is like more important than yourself.
Definitely agree. Yeah. Definitely agree. And I think kind of like what you said there, whether it's, speaking about Brunel, whether it's, meeting people at locos or freshers fair or going to different society events, I think kind of like what you said, especially for like big courses, you might be friends all in first year. You've got that expectation of, first lecture, you're going to be like, typical like American film. You're going to be friends with your best friend's going to be the person that you sit next to with in the lecture center or whatever. And you're going to just be like friends forever. And it's kind of like what you said, that the more the year goes on, the more friends you sort of like cut down on.
Yeah. And what's funny though, when it came to my university experience, I think I had 1 or 2 friends from my course. And I'm not even close friends with them. Like, I found people in my course because I studied international politics, most of them are very stiff. They're stiff. I don't see them going out. I'm not the type of person who studies 24/7. And I told my mom, I'm not going to study 24/7. That is not me. It's like people in my course were one. Then I had friends that are from different courses that match my personality more, which is like, let's say an irony when it comes to uni. They say, you're going to meet your friends in your course. Excuse me, your friends outside the course are even better. Like you literally learn new things as well. Like I remember first year, I snuck into a lecture that wasn't related to my degree with a friend, and I was like, I should have done this instead. And by the way, that was psychology, and I was like, should have done this. So yeah, it's interesting making friends in uni. It's 50-50.
I get that. And I guess it kind of sort of links to the next point, because I know we're going to touch a bit more about these realities later on, but talking about, like you said before, that, when you go into adulthood or, when you're living away from home, there's that sort of thought that, I can manage myself, I can cook a nice meal, I can, wash my clothes, or I can iron or whatever. And then it's just like not always the case, which I'm sure we'll dive into more. But, was that, you sort of mentioned it before that you felt like that. Is that something that you feel like for a lot of things when you're living away from home, that you felt that was true,
Honestly, the first few months, to be fair, until this is a difficult question for me, because to be fair, most of first year, I was dreading own clothes, cooking. The thing is, the good thing, I know how to use a washing machine. People never touch the washing machine. The thing is, back home, I don't touch the washing machine unless I need to, but I still know how to use it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But I've met people texting me, Layla, come to the laundry room with me. I was like, I don't have anything to clean. And they're like, I need help. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm completely clueless. Then there's these people that put their whites with their blacks. And I was like, it's going to turn grayish. So separate it, please. Like, it's an ick for me. Like, I'm OCD when it comes to laundry. And cooking, had no problem with that. But after hours of lectures and seminars, I'm like, can I even be bothered to cook? And also, students, like, we don't have that much money, especially when it comes to the month and we have to budget. And I'm a person who loves shopping. And the fact that I had to use most of my money when it comes to, like, let's say, subscriptions on Netflix, a takeout in a lazy day, a phone, whatever, like, when is it going to be for me? The thing is, my mom did tell me, you need to be good at budgeting. Going to London, it's going to be more expensive. That's what, for international students, for people who live abroad, like who start living abroad. Till now, I have the currency exchange on my phone because I'm looking at it. Is this expensive? I convert it. If it's expensive back home, I'm not touching it. And I'm like, it's until now, 3 years later, where obviously people, you'll be used to it. I'm not used to it. Like, international students know that converting the currency is a huge thing because God forbid, this country is expensive compared to where I came from. It's expensive. Like, even you would see international students when they come back here, they have their own suitcase filled with food, filled with stuff that's expensive over here.
Yeah.
That I'm like, come on. Like, this stuff from home, obviously I'm going to get homesick and I'm not going to find it here. And if I find it here, it's going to be ×4 the price back home. I'm like, yeah, this is not for me at all. Like, living by myself, it's easier than the feed is nuts when you actually get it. It's like every day you're gonna learn something new. You're not used to it. Like even our parents, every day they're still learning about like life, about independency, about taking care of their children or taking care of their own selves when it comes to money, owning people's stuff, buying the stuff they need. Like we're learning something new every day.
Exactly.
Like, it's difficult, especially for an international student or an international graduate trying to find a job in this country. It's difficult. Like, it's not easy.
No, that's true. That's true. And I think especially like, I mean, people argue we're out of the pandemic or not, but like, I think the main thing of like, we're still in that period where you still got people who graduated 2 years ago who might not be working in whatever career that they wanted to when they graduated.
That's the thing. That's the reality. Like, most people would graduate from medicine, then you would see them be a secretary in an economic company. Like, in the beginning, you're not gonna get what you want.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you know how our parents are, you have to work to have a stable life, I'm literally I'm just going with the flow. Like, I know it's going to be hard for me in the beginning because, for example, politics is a hard sector. Like, you can't find a job this quick like medicine, right? But it's like going with the flow. Try to be an adult. Enjoy your life while you're young. Because when you grow up, you won't have time for that, especially if you want family, kids. You're not going to have time for that. Even in retirement, you'll be too tired to do it. So I would say do it now before you can't in the future. I know my family's like, you have later. You'll have time later with your own money. I was like, the truth is, no, it's not. You're taking care of me. No, it's not true. Like, in reality, just do what makes you happy as fast and early as you can, because later you won't have time.
Good.
Literally.
Now, I know in the interest of time, we've got our producer who's eyeing me up to make sure that we stick to our segment timings. But I guess we sort of touched on it. So if you want to go onto the realities, we can. But, traveling to a new country can be exciting. A lot of people say that's why they want to travel, whether they're home students, that's why they want to travel abroad, at least for a year. That's why a lot of international students sometimes come over to the UK because it's new opportunities, it's a new country. But there's certain realities that come with that. And, like I said, we'll dive into more of those in just a bit. But yeah, what did you feel? Were you excited to be coming to study over at Brunel?
London?
Yeah, in London.
Of course. London, okay, people are like, oh, you came from Abu Dhabi. What's London to you? I was like, somewhat of an escape. Because, for example, like my viewers, the viewers have ever lived in UAE or a Muslim country, you're living in a bubble. Like, you're not exposed to, some people would say, the haram things. Like living in this bubble, you don't have to, you're not maturing. If you're not seeing this in real life, you don't know what's coming for you in the future. So obviously when I came here, again, as I said earlier, it was a culture shock. I was like, I don't see this back home. The thing is, you don't see these stuff unless you're looking for it. Like, you won't see it in front of you because everywhere, over there is 21 plus anyways. Like, you need to look for it. So coming in this country, I was like, you can see it everywhere. Obviously my mom told me, you're gonna see stuff like that. Don't be shocked. I was never shocked because I expected it. Come on, with the movies and everything, of course. Then what was another thing? The TFL. Thing is, back home, the only way of transportation was if you drive or cab.
Okay.
That's it. There is public transport, but it's dirty. It's like the bus app. It's dirty. Like, you can walk, but, and again, the country's on the equator line. It's hot. It's hot. You can't walk unless in the winter, but everywhere is far, which literally makes all of us lazy and either take a cab or drive. And I don't know how to drive, so I literally force my mom to take me everywhere if she's not working, right? So the TFL here, I appreciate it because, I can get anywhere. But it's like the money, the amount of money it takes, the strikes on the days I need it. I do not want to waste money on Uber. Uber is rinsing my right now because it's getting dark earlier. It's rinsing my pocket because I don't like walking in the dark alone. That the TFL was a huge thing I needed to learn, but now thank God I know. I use apps and whatever. What is a new thing? Yeah, the thing is, when I lived on my own before my aunt, food, halal meat and everything at first was difficult. Obviously the main thing is not to eat pork, but it's the chicken and meat. Finding halal food was very difficult for me. I needed to go from Brunel, I needed to go somewhere close to Edgware Road or something, and I was like, are you kidding? To find halal meat. I was like, are you kidding? Because I don't want to eat this. And also food was expensive. What else? There's so many stuff. It's so much stuff that happened. I can't even think about it right now.
No, I get that. Yeah. But no, I think kind of like what you said, it's all about going out and trying things, which I guess sort of, takes us onto the realities. So we're going to be talking about the realities of the situation. Now, going back to our first one, which was about, making loads of friends, kind of like we mentioned, it can be hard to make friends. This isn't even just if you're an international student, this can be for a home student too, especially if you don't know anyone at your university. So I know, for example, when I went to Brunel, there were at least 2 or 3 other people from my uni, from my sixth form that went to the Brunel as well. So I knew at least one of them. I might see them around on campus. We spoke then, but obviously, I didn't know anyone on the course. No one was doing the same course as me. And I joined societies and stuff, kind of like we said, to meet new people, to sort of see things.
Same.
I'm a social person. I like going out doing those things. But yeah, it can be hard, like you said, for someone who's not sociable, who doesn't really like going out or actively, going out to make friends and prefers like a more enclosed, like more personal space, it can be hard. And like, again, if you're the only one that, whether it's, in your family, if you're the only one in your friendship group to go to a new university, it can be hard. Is this something that, you experienced? Well, I know you said you're very social, so maybe not too much this one, but is this something that you knew friends had experienced?
Like, let's say, throughout the 3 years, friends changed, friend groups changed. Like, and I met those people, whether it was through a party, a birthday party. Society's helped me a lot in final year, because I was like, this is my final year of uni.
Okay.
Let's make it worth it. So I also represented a society, and I kept telling the freshers that I spoke to, literally, do not stick to the people that you first met right away. Don't. Because that is the mistake I did. I stuck to the same people that I met through freshers group chats when I was in UAE, and I came here and I stuck to them and I relied on them 24/7. I should have not done that. I should have not done that. Like, I should have just I was open to make new friends, but I was relying on them. Right? Literally, keep your options open when it comes to friends, through societies, through your classes, through people that you meet in the locals' bathroom. Like, just keep meeting these people. Be open, because you never know. One of them might be better than the person that you're spending your time with. Maybe the person that you're talking to right now, like your besties, are like talking badly about you behind your back with no shame.
Exactly.
Right? So just be open. I know your friends won't be as good as the ones you grew up with back home. But, and again, you grew up with them. You matured with them. You grew up with them. Basically, your personality and the way you are was shaped around them. Obviously, they're going to be stuck by you 24/7 because you grew up with them. They saw you since elementary. So don't compare them to the university friends, because that's what I did most of the time. And I stopped doing that literally at the end of second year. Because most of the friends I have back home, I knew since the age of 8. And I used to compare every person until the end of second year. They're never gonna be as good as the friends back home. They don't know me. That's it. I'm gonna cut them off. Just be open. But if something does go wrong, do not take it from the heart. I was a very sensitive person when I came into first year. I was sensitive. I was naive. Don't take everything to heart. Just take the drama. Be mature with it. Tell them, look, it's not working out. Let's go our separate ways and move on. Because at the end of the day, as I said before, you only have yourself and your family. Even family talk, distant family talk badly about you. So, but I'm just saying, you have yourself 24/7 at the end of the day. Whether you like it or not. It's just a life lesson I had to learn in a long period of time, which annoyed me, to be fair. But now it's all good.
Good, I really like that. And I think it's true, like you said, that, after, similar thing of, I feel the same way that, you don't, it's kind of like we said, you might, loads of people say it, there's loads of things you can look online with motivational speakers or whatever said stuff where it's just you don't have hundreds of friends. You might have hundreds of acquaintances, but you've got 2, 3, if you're lucky, 4 friends that those are the people that, you could it's 2 a.m. You're going through some real stuff. You can call them up and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, man." Or even if they missed your call, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, saw you missed call, man. What's up? I know you don't usually do this." Or they might see a post and be like, "No, this isn't you. What's up?" And I feel kind of like what you said, that is something that's definitely is true about university. And you don't have to. I think kind of like we said as well. Whether it's TV shows or films or influences, you're just thinking oh yeah, it's everything's going to be that film. I'm going to be make hundreds of friends. I'm going to be super famous at my uni or whatever. And it's just no, that's not the typical uni experience. It's a film for a reason. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you don't really want to be known at uni.
Exactly.
Because half of the time you're either known because you're a social person or for something really bad.
Exactly.
So I was like, just keep it low key and like be known to a couple of people. Even if a person tells, oh, who's this? It's a good thing that they don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they could literally stalk you and the next day ruin your life. Like, I'm not kidding. This is real life. It sounds like a movie, but
it happens.
This bad stuff that happens in movies could happen in real life. Not the good stuff in movies. That's 1 in 100 chances. Like,
no, that's true. That's true. Well, I'm thinking for the next one, because they're quite linked, we're going to combine so both the two assumptions that we had about, living by yourself isn't too hard and traveling to a new country is exciting. The next two are quite similar. So I'm going to link the realities of this together. So what I've got is that you have to learn new things. Now, whether this is, learning to drive on the other side of the road, or like you said, getting used to the public transport system in the country, learning the language. And that can be one thing, especially, when this idea of traveling to a new country is exciting, sort of going back to that, it can be quite difficult and lonely if you don't fluently speak the language that you're like, whether you're coming to the UK and you don't speak English, or you're going away from the UK to like another country and you don't speak the language fluently. That can make it quite difficult and lonely because, there will be times when, there's conversations that, you're just like, I know the Duolingo of it, like I've done like
the basics.
I've done the basics. But it's just like, I don't know that much. But yeah, I guess, how did you feel about some of these realities? Did you have to, you said that you've been like, you've conquered TFL now, which is great.
Thank God. Thank God. Yeah.
But what about some of the other things? Like, I don't know, is English, were you fluent in English?
Yeah, fluently in English.
Okay.
Which surprised some people because I'm telling ethnically I'm Sudanese. I was born in the UAE. They were like, how do you speak English? I went to a Canadian-based curriculum school. That's what I'm thankful for. I didn't go to the public schools there because I would have that harsh Arabic accent that no one could understand a single word coming out of my mouth. But speaking English or a new language wasn't a hard thing when it came. But when other people obviously have a different experience, and all I can tell you is try your best learning the language, even though if it's hard. I know you're gonna start feeling homesick, start giving up, but you came as an international student. Being accepted to a university in London is an opportunity, and you should take every opportunity 120%, because obviously you're paying the university fees and it's coming from your parents' pocket. We have to make you 100% make yourself proud first, then your family, because your family will be proud regardless if you're happy and if you are for sure proud of yourself, 100%. So learning a new language wouldn't be a problem if you're 100% dedicated to it, right? So go to your lessons, go to societies that they talk English around you, whatever. And if you feel homesick, just join societies that are related to your culture, right? Like, for example, I didn't learn about the Arabic or the Arab or the North African society until I had to go back home during COVID. And I was like, are you kidding? Then I joined their society remotely during COVID. Then I was like, you know what? I like this. I started talking whatever. And I was like, the society, I can improve it. And luckily, I'm happy that the president of that society told me to be the society's president of the coming year. And I was like, okay, it's my chance. I know how difficult it is. I experienced it. I saw my friends experiencing trying to speak English. And it is hard, especially if people are making fun of it. I experienced, let's say I met someone who, where was she from? She was South American, right? I forgot which country, and she did not know a bit of English. And I remember someone telling her, why did you bother? the thing is, I didn't know her at the point. I was just in the library. I was like, it hits the same. Go back to your country. It gives off the same thing. The thing is, no one told me that personally because I wouldn't let them, because I know their language. But seeing this vulnerable person sitting on by herself and a person telling her out of like they're trying to have a conversation and she's like, no hablo English, like and they're like, why? Like, why are you here? And I was like, this person has the audacity. Like,
I'm probably paying like, I don't know what it is now, but like times 10 of what you're paying to be there.
Exactly.
100%.
Like, how many British people go abroad and don't even know how to say like hello?
Yeah,
thank you. Like English.
Yeah, the thing is with like let's say Westerners going to a completely like they're just fluent in English. I saw this before. No, I didn't see this. My friend told me they wouldn't even bother learning the language because they do think English is the hardcore 100%. Oh, everyone should. It's a universal thing. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like a lot of Arab people think Arabic is like a universal, not a universal thing, but you know how there's a lot of Muslims in the world. Like Arabic is probably one of the most spoken languages. And I was like, but us Arabs try to learn your language.
Yeah.
But I'm like, these people come in a different country and expect us to change for them. I was like, no.
And it's just polite.
Exactly.
Like, at least to know, like, hello, thank you, and bye.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, well, like two things. So one, so at Brunel, the nice thing is they do, I don't know what it's under, like the actual name, but it's
language center.
Yes, so they've got the language center where if you want to learn another language, whether it's English, I think last time I checked it was like Spanish, French, I think Portuguese is also there, Japanese I know was there, but
yeah, at some point I was in the Brunel language center in first year because I want to like to make my French like better. Like I'm basic, but intermediate, medium. Let's just say I gave up after like 5 sessions because I went in not as a beginner, 50-50, and I was like, I don't remember this.
Exactly.
Like from school, I was like, I give up, and politics is enough for me. Like at least I know the language of this country and I know the language of my mother's tongue. That's it. Like, French when I'm completely free.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
But look, it's a really good resource. I know a few friends have used it and they've said it's been really good to learn languages. Only thing is, it does get booked up very quickly. Yeah. So I know that like so at the point of recording, we're in the winter term. So by the new year in January, they'll be taking a new intake. They do have a waiting list. So if you try to approach this year and you can't do it, then try again in the summer. And
also there's a website called Coursera.com. It has like you can pay to get the certificate to show that you completed the course, but it has literally have courses from diplomacy, from Harvard University, or from the like members of the United Nations. Like I remember I took this global cultures course for free. Then I was like, yeah, I need to pay for the certificate, but the certificate is maximum £50.
Too bad.
It's not bad if it's like a certificate coming from Harvard.
That's
and they do learn French, English, and stuff like. And it's like 6 months long per course, 6 months a year, like maximum. But honestly, you guys should use it because that helped me in first year. No, it helped me during COVID and post university, like to show that I am doing something in my free time. Like I'm not a complete waste of space, time. Like. It's completely 100% helpful.
Well, definitely agree. So yeah, do feel free to check that out, and we will be doing an episode about like because I think that's completely right. That showing, I don't want to touch too much on it because we're going to do an episode on it. But
let's like move on. Let's not like go in detail about that.
But no, I think you're right that showing like you. Like you said, like showing that you're learning to learn a new language, whether it is through like Brunel Language Centre and you've got a certificate there, whether you can, I mean, Duolingo, well, I do Duolingo, I do Spanish, like, I'm not amazing.
Go help me at some point.
But it's like, it is something good to have. But like, if you can show that you're doing stuff, it is really good.
And if it's helping you stay in this country and like you're not focusing on the fact, oh, you're homesick, it's completely good.
Completely good, 100%.
Like if you're distracting yourself, distract yourself any way possible. If it's good, that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go on to the advice and the lessons learned, so we can leave our wonderful audience feeling great. Yeah. But yeah, so for the first one, I put down, and we sort of already touched on it, try joining societies, especially, I guess from the homesick point of view, cultural societies that relate to you. So like you said, the ones that you joined with Arab Society and North African Society. I know joining like Nigerian Society and ACS did
ACS helped me a lot. Like even though some African countries don't see me as African because I speak Arabic and most of us don't even look African and Arabs don't see us. It's a whole debate that needs an podcast. It's like whether Sudanese people are Arab or African, it's whatever. But literally joining societies is a huge thing to help with your homesickness. Even if you live with distant family. Like I live with my aunt who's literally a sister to my mom. They're literal sisters, and I'm still homesick. But being representing the North African Society, doing events, being open to people that you've never met. Back home, I haven't met many people from Libya. I met a bunch here, and I loved it. And I became friends with Sudanese people, and I felt so close to home when they took me to Sudanese restaurants, and I was like, I like it here now. 2 years later, I was like, yeah, I like it. Literally, joining societies culturally is a big help. But when it comes to what you like, it might help more than the cultural societies. 100%. You could be this person who's a third culture kid and has an identity problem. You're from many countries. You don't want to go into culture because you don't know where you're from. Just go join the country, the societies that have interest. For instance, now, when the sport, you can join the society, you can join, they have so many societies. Where they have a society. They even did think intersectionality study about it's anti-racism and discrimination protesting. Yeah, they have so many societies. I remember how difficult it was to choose because I was interested in so many stuff.
No, definitely. I definitely agree. That is one thing that I've always like I said, I'm not here to sugarcoat or real amazing. But I'll see it kind of. But one of the things that really did Bruno was kind of like saying a wide variety of societies. Even I never. Not always the case. I know sometimes people might feel and I know personal experiences that sometimes societies don't always but by the time people don't care if you're not from a country or you're not an expert at football or whatever.
Right.
If you're just happy to have a good time, that's cool.
Because a lot of societies, especially the culture ones, show a very cliquey persona, clicks on. We don't want you to join because you're not from this country. They give off the vibe. I'm not saying that they say exactly. I'm not trying to shame anyone, I swear. But I remember in let's say when I was in the North African Society Committee, I was you can literally join if you're from Kurdistan, Afghanistan, if you don't talk badly about our culture and you want to learn more. You're more than welcome to join. I'll count you as a North African as well. It's completely fine. I love when people start learning about each other's cultures and the cliques, and it feels more homey. it's a 10/10 like that.
No,
Like
definitely.
it makes the university experience so much better.
No, so definitely agree. And
Especially,
no, so true. And I think, just a quick look up so people know how many there are. So yeah.
Drama society, games design, Greek and Cypriot, Islamic society.
There's like 83 on their website, and we all.
But I think there's more.
Yeah, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me, and I think this is.
I think it's more if you're counting sports 100 monthly.
Because looking at it now, I don't see any of the sports one, and I know there are load of sports ones. So feel free to check.
Sidebar cups. Join that. Make your schedule as busy as you can. When if you don't want to feel homesick, that's it.
And I definitely think for I'd say more. Actually, so for the undergrad, I'd say in your first year, especially because it's time I'm not fail that shit.
10%.
But it's small. Especially that first term when you don't really have assessments, you're not really the pressure because you're getting taught everything, everyone's just getting the hang of things. You've got freshers fair, you got all this stuff for freshers week. Then afterwards, most societies do a lot of things where
around October, November time, that's when the meet and greets happen.
Exactly.
I remember that's when all the students come. That's where most of the people meet in the meet and greet first 2 months, the freshers fair, the parties in the venue. I swear, in your first year especially, do not miss a party in the venue, no matter how empty it is. Do not miss it, because you might meet the best friends of all time in one of those parties.
No, 100%.
I have one friend that I'm friends till now. He commuted to another uni now. Transferred to another uni in another country, and I met him in the most dead party in the venue in first year, and we're still best friends.
See, look,
I'm telling you,
Brunel connects people.
Even if it's dead, you're gonna meet people in the weirdest timings. Trust, I swear.
But to keep this going with time, so for the next one, again, I'm going to try and link these two, because I think learning to live by yourself is very a part of, traveling to a new country. So I'm going to put these two together again. So what we put down, I should say, trying to learn a new skill and being okay with mistakes is the first thing. So, whether it's, learning to drive on the other side of the road or learning the language, try learning it, and kind of like what Layla was saying, you trying in itself is good. So I know one thing that my sister and I did earlier this year was we traveled to Tenerife, and we, as I've said, I've been promoting, if Duolingo ever paid me for this, I'd be so happy. But yeah,
let's pay him.
Yeah, just hear me here, guys.
We need the
we need the money. But yeah, I was doing Duolingo Spanish, so I was learning a bit of Spanish, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try my best. I'll speak Spanish for as much of the conversation as I can. And, if it gets to a point where, I've got to go back to English, I'll go back to English. And it's good because a lot of the time, kind of like, what our great producer was saying, that, whether you're showing that you sort of appreciate the culture. Now, I'm not saying for example, if I'm a home student, if an international student isn't trying to learn English or speak to me in English, I don't appreciate it. No, I'm saying that, it gives you that sort of opportunity to be okay with mistakes. No one is expecting anyone, if I move to Spain today, no one should be expecting me to be speaking fluent Spanish or understanding everything all at once. In the same way that if you're an international student, no one should ever be expecting you to be speaking fluent English at once if you've never learned English before traveling to the UK. So be okay with making mistakes. Sometimes people, even I've learned English my whole life. Even I get confused with English. The amount of whether you've got to put apostrophes after certain things and the semicolons and colons, but it's good that we don't have to handwrite stuff anymore for coursework, because even for example, entrepreneurship, that was always a part of my degree, and I had assessments on that, and I for as long as I did my masters, did not remember how to spell entrepreneurship. So yeah, be okay with it. And then also on the using the resources part, and I'll ask Layla a bit about this in just short, actually. I said use YouTube, because there are a lot of people who kind of like what I said, there are some influencers that sort of, I mean, without trying to like insult influencers, I'm not saying there are some people where it seems less authentic, but there are a lot of like YouTube videos on like moving to a new country or like visiting a new country and like what to expect, what are some of the things that you can prepare for, what are some great sites to see. And there are a lot that are quite good, so I definitely recommend that. I know my sister, I think, told me about one where this was more to do with like visiting places rather than like moving, but it was like a black person talking about, they were like traveling around the world and were saying like, as a black person, what was my experience in this city or in this country? I know that we've had someone on the podcast, the main series before, who was talking about, she's a digital I think it's digital nomad. I think it's digital nomad, but essentially, like, she travels to different countries. So she is a teacher in like certain countries. She'll stay there for like 3 or 4 months, then she'll travel to other countries. And she said, like using resources like that, we can include a link to her page. You can check out if there's any country that you want to go to. That's on that list. You can. But yeah, using these resources, because especially like somewhere like London is, loads of people go to London. It's a big city, a lot of international city as well. So there'll be loads of different videos about like, I'm a uni student. This is my experience. And then last but not least, I know Brunel have videos from, like an international student who came and studied at Brunel. This was their experience, or these are the things that they, wanted to know when they were at uni. So feel free to check those out. I don't know if they've got a list, so you just need to type in like Brunel Uni international experience and then look for one with the university's logo as the channel. But yeah, there's loads. But yeah, I guess any more advice looking to those two about like learning new skills, being new mistakes, using resources that you'd say,
honestly, in order to achieve life, you're gonna make so many mistakes. whether let's see, if you fail it has happened, or the smallest things that you didn't realize. Like, you're always gonna learn something, and the resources I use YouTube was a big thing when it came to go and shopping online. Because for my girls, I love to shop for no reason. Like, there's software called Honey that asked me so much. And also TL. I learned this really Apple Steam Hour. Why did I have to fear that by myself? Like, why didn't you guys tell me this earlier? That helped. Like, 10 different routes to one location, and I was just this through.
I will say that, sorry to quick button, but I will say that I find it really interesting, because I'm not saying that like home students don't use math, but I only said use math because some of my calls to an international student like say, you're use Google Maps or like Apple one, but like they're just like using Google Maps. I was like, okay, because it's my phone, like I use it, and she was just like, no, like city maps, like so much to like explain everything.
Google Maps is confusing. Like, after you use city map, I was like, I'm never using Google Maps this country, this city, no way.
Exactly.
And also, when it comes to shopping, guys, first their product is their best friend. Like, I remember, especially for the international students that come from countries, you're probably gonna think a hat, scarf, gloves, and coat, and like heavy concern of bicycles, whether like tank thermals, buy but the thickest coat you can buy. Like, get them here though. Here it's cheaper. Like, back home, because it's a hot country and the winter is just a month. Not like this country. It's only for 2 weeks. And it's raining for no completely reason, like it's cloud taste or something. Like, buy them here. Like, you can buy something back home that is like to when you first come. Obviously, September is chilly, but this is for the new people. I'm telling you, buy your stuff here from Primark or from like online stores, like cheaper, affordable. That's kind of fun. So my mom did tell me buy it from the UK, and I'm like, oh my goodness, cool. never worked. Here's it not out.
Exactly.
It was like, so that is one thing that, like, piece, one piece of advice I would give you YouTube from our honey city mapper. TikTok. You know, I think, I don't know, I think I was looking for something.
Okay.
I didn't go to Google. TikTok was open. Just Google step. Like TikTok, like especially when it comes to if you want to go on vacation, thing, it will literally show you flights for £10. Other than like Ryanair was there, I was like, okay, I can disprove your own best friends. No one else is gonna tell you this. Like, it's just amazing how many loopholes they're finding in an expensive country like this.
That's true.
Like, it's amazing. Like, TikTok is number one in the list. Honey, city map. Like, there's TF Go as well. That was really recently. I think TF was sitting stress and that, but our city map is still 100%. 10.
And then I think one other useful resource to mention would be Unis, because a lot of uni students don't know about Unis. Like, it is amazing. Yeah.
And student beans. I love it. Because somebody just on sale. Like Friday, guys, it's Friday. Because I remember, I think something happened to my AirPod or something. And in uni days, it says that if you're a university student or you graduated from university and your Apple product that you bought it like in the span of 5 years, there's something wrong, come to us, we'll give it to you for like exchange it for free. They didn't even exchange it. They fixed it there on spot for £10.
Wow. See, you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
And then I was shook. Like, I was like, hold up a minute. For £10, you're fixing my AirPods.
It's crazy.
And this is in Westfield, guys. Like, I was like, what? It's just like it takes time to like settle in a country like this, because like no one is gonna tell you everything. Like, you're gonna figure stuff out on your own in your own time. It's gonna come. Everything that happens in this country does not come in a rush. It comes in its own pace, whether you like it or it's not. It's slow. Like, yeah, just like use TikTok. Like, what do I need to pack for uni as an international student? Better than YouTube. It's like 1 minute, it tells you everything. It's 10/10.
No, I agree. And I was going to ask you, like, what's your final message? Any final words? Well, I think you summed it up amazingly.
Yeah, actually.
So we're gonna go to the end. As all things must come to an end, and this is the end of the episode. I want to say thank you, Layla, for coming to the podcast today. It has been an amazing, absolute pleasure speaking to you about learning. About learning work from home.
The thing is, I have so much to say. At the same time, my brain is not, how can I say? My brain is not organized. Like, I came here, let's go to the flow, because it's my own experience. I know why got me here. It's just too much. It's easier said than done. Like, anything I say right now, you might hear, okay, I'm gonna take that advice. Then when it actually happens to you, it's completely like literally just go with the flow of life. It's gonna be hard, but look at me. I graduated. I'm still in this country. You can do it too. Still, and I get easily stressed. You're alive too. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the key tips that you've shared. Thank you to you, our wonderful audience, for coming back for another episode. If you like this episode, then a like, comment, subscribe is always appreciated. If you want to know when the next episode is coming, just make sure you click that notification bell at the bottom of the screen so you don't miss it. And finally, if you're interested in receiving some perks or, as well as supporting the podcast, then please do check out our Patreon page. Wish you all the best. We'll see you all next time. And yeah, maybe you'll learn something that no one told you in the next episode. But that's 5 from us here. Wish you all the best and have an amazing day.